Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you all can hear me alright. It's good to be back, just couldn't be on the last 2 days. Thankfully not too much occurred over the last 2 days. However, we do have some things to talk about. Bitcoin, we'll just start with Bitcoin. The usual Ethereum 2.0 merge did occur. So pretty much we would expect at this point any, that all should be somewhat priced in. It seems to be just like a sell news event, as it always seems to be. But let's just talk about our technical targets for now. So just looking at the Bitcoin chart, we've had this fair value gap and also this point of control from the new range. If I just go over to the daily chart real quick. This point of control right here, which we broke through, if we actually re-pull this, because we actually, I believe, point control did change a significant amount. I believe up here. Oh no, it didn't actually. This point control as well as this fair value gap were our longer term targets. The other day that I was referring to at the beginning of the week. The point control we've pretty much broken through, but this fair value gap which we just filled, and now we're coming back down. Once again, still remain, right? We just wick below slightly, close above, no problem. Unless we're building any sort of divergences, which we're not. Just be wary of that. If you are still short, this was going to be our support level. If this support level does decide to break, then I would expect just for us to fall down and retest this value area low at around $18.9 thousand. That'd be next target down. Yeah, so I think starting to skim some shorts, and possibly look for like a hedge long or something like that would be a best bet. But for now, that's really all I have to talk about for Bitcoin, right? Nothing too much, right? Unless if we close below that fair value gap, next level to retest would be this value or low, and then after that, if that does break, if we do have like a catastrophic breakdown, which I don't think we will, to be honest. I do think this level will at least hold a little bit. Then we're just coming back to these wicks down here between 18.5 and 17.9 roughly, but I don't expect that to be happening anytime soon, or over the weekend. I do think we'll get a significant bounce off this level, hopefully. Take a look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Coming over to the weekly charts, this doesn't necessarily looking all that good. We are getting acceptance back within this range. I was still waiting for a retest of this previous high. I never got it. But looking at smaller term time frames, the daily will be better. Breaking below this low right here would signify let me just label this, would signify a market structure change. So closing below this level, which we're at right now, on the daily time frame would signal that the daily uptrend is most likely invalidated, and we're switching to a downtrend at that point. And then things become pretty nasty. Especially since we've already broken out of this range in June. So yeah, just be wary of that. That this closure right here will get is very important for Ethereum for the rest of pretty much for weeks to come, I would say. Let's just take a look at Ethereum itself, and then we can take a look at the coins you guys want to look at. So the idea that we had labeled out, it didn't play out as expected. I did have it played out that we get a bounce off this level, then come up to these franchises, eventually break out of these franchises. Didn't happen. We did get a bounce off this level, came up and filled this gap, but not what I was expecting. I was expecting due to the Ethereum, how Ethereum versus Bitcoin was looking the other day. I was expecting a bit more strength out of this. Things are now just popping up. But we didn't. We broke down. get a slight bounce and then broke down. So let's just look at the daily term time frame where see where our targets are below. Right here, this fair value gap still remains the long-term target between 13,000 and 1276. I don't think things are going to get prettier till then. Bitcoin does look it's going to bounce a significant amount now, so Ethereum will most likely then just set a lower high. Where would that lower high go? And you would just look for this fair value gap here. We can just move it because that one already got filled, obviously. Here between 1574 and 1515. If Bitcoin does bounce off of this level and doesn't close below, then I will look to fill this fair value gap, then continuation to the downside. But until then, you can have slight bounces along the way, right? Micro little bounces, but until then, you're going to be looking really just down to these targets down here. Bitcoin apparently just broke down. I wouldn't be too concerned about wicks, right? Closures. I know it's kind of, yeah. So, well, I'm gonna wait till the 4-hour closure. I know a lot of you use small time frames, which is all right, but 4-hour closure on this fair value gap is what I look for. I want to be more aggressive than you 1 hour, but yeah, wicks would be fine. So. Alright, we had Ave, Adam, and Rune so far, and we can do over this. And it seems like my mic is really gainy today, so hopefully that's a bit better. Cool. Let's go over Ave. Okay. Ave, where'd this one come from? Ave, this was just resistance level. Cool, okay. Get rid of that as well. Get rid of this as well. Okay. So for Ave, let's just go over the daily term time frame, and then we can take it from there. So take a look at the daily term time frame. We did get a rejection off of this support resistance level once again. I said if we get a closure above this, I believe on the 4-hour term time frame, which we didn't do, this bearish order block would be our next target for then continuation to the downside. We didn't get that. I believe we were actually talking on this day about closing above and then coming up here. We didn't get that. We didn't get the pull back into the daily order, into that bearish order block. So targets still remain to the downside. We were looking at the daily term time frame and saying that this right here would be the low to break to pretty much. Let me just change this to flip daily term time for market structure. This is our 4-hour market structure line. This is our daily market structure line. So closing below this level right today, it's 76.35. Would then invalidate this lower daily uptrend. Then our next target becomes this fair value gap down here, and that actually stops perfectly with this value low at 71.6. Let's just see if any divergences are forming. Nothing. Okay. So you don't have any divergences are forming, but if we just want to look at smaller time frames, just get an idea of where it might break. We can just take this as a mini little trend. Oh, sorry, mini little range. And we just see where our, okay, yeah. Bang, bang. Okay. You did have a low volume node actually right below this line here. So I don't have much of a bias other than you're probably just gonna, if you are gonna continue upside, probably just gonna form a swing failure pattern of this some type of nature, something like this, and then you get your pullback. That's a big if, but until then, until we get that closure, daily closure, then there's no bias for me to say, other than just the fact that we have this, like a pullback into this low volume node situation, or low volume node situation right here. at 74.5 roughly, and then continuation to upside. But that doesn't seem likely. It seems like most likely you're going to continue the downside. But just wait for confirmation for the daily term time for the daily closure. And then we want to take a look at Atom. Okay. So Atom, we had this low volume no labeled out, which we came up to, which actually ended right with the 786 as well. Let's get rid of these small term time frame fibs. And we were looking for a rejection on the slow volume node, and then essentially just a retest of this value area high. We've yet to get the retest of the value area high, but except we've been just range bound within this. So really small term time frames, well, not really small, but small term time frames, right? We had this fair value gap, came right into it, wick below, close above, then continuation upside. So I would just treat this more or less as just a range. Excuse me. Things don't get concerning until I believe this is actually the 1 hour time frame. I labeled that. Oh, maybe it wasn't. But things don't get concerning for Atom until you start to close below all the way down here. Assuming you don't make a new high. So if you make a new high, then this would be the low to break. Or this would be the market structure line. But assuming you just stay range bound, and then this right here, 11.535, would then invalidate the 4 hour uptrend. But until then, that's not invalidated. However, I am kind of expecting this to eventually, stop and get a pullback. Probably alongside with Bitcoin. We do have, so just coming up to fill this low volume node fully up to 17.5 is what I would kind of look for. However, this doesn't look the strongest, especially going into the weekend, so I do think eventually going to get, I think you probably have already set your top for this move at least. Small term time frames, you came up, rejected the 786, so not looking too great. The really small term time frames, like 4 or 15 minute. 1 hour, just get a quick look. Yeah. I would say if you close, I think this is a short play until you close above the 786 in the 1 hour time frame, and then you switch it to just the top of this fair value gap for look for a rejection off. This low volume node for look for a rejection off. But until then, I think this is pretty much a short play with targets just back down to these ranges here. First target back down to this range, and then long term timers back down to that. Back down to that 11.5 target. We can look for Rune. Yeah, let's look at Rune. Okay, I don't think we've actually looked at this one ever, which is good. So how would I treat this? I would treat this as the range, high to low. You're breaking down out of this value low, which doesn't look strong at all. I think you're most likely going to break down at this point. You do have a low volume node between here, which you're going to come into at some point. Look for a slight rejection off of that, maybe between 1.65 and 1.6. So just look for that coming back down, pull into this, and then possibly just a retest of that value area low. That should provide at least a nice, good solid 5% move. So let's look for that low volume node bounce. But after that, this doesn't look too strong. We don't start to get bullish on this thing until we get back above the value area low at the very least. So I'll just look for longer term targets to the downside. Maybe Binance has better coin, a better chart. Okay, yeah, Binance does have some more history. We take our fibs. Okay, yeah, that got. Oops, that won't really do much for you. Can I take trend-based fibs off of this? Well, let's see what these provide, and then we can see. Yeah, no, okay. I need them to do the other way around. Okay, let me just start. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, what if I go here? We can set new. Bang, bang, bang. And these will be our levels for now. And it doesn't look too pretty after you break out of this. Yeah, the fibs don't give too much hope, and I don't even think market structure gives too much hope. I would expect you to fall around this cluster, assuming we break out of this low, like around this cluster right here, which is aligned with this, right close to these fibs as well, around $1 to 72 cents. I mean, that's a large range, but for a coin like this, when it went from 36 cents to $20 in how long? In in like a year. Okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, I'll look for pretty much. I would just say this right here between 72 and 78. Assuming you fall out of this, this is just where you're gonna fall to. It's a pretty brutal move. Luna C on a run. Let's look for our Luna C. Luna C. I don't even know. Luna C. Okay. Daily term time frame. We got a lot of mess going on. So you see we're holding this 1618 as resistance, wick, close above, close below, then return to right as support, right back into resistance. So not too strong with support right there. Came back, retested, tried to retest this high, kind of got reclaimed back into it. It's kind of just like a mess, to be quite honest. Which I guess you'd expect out of such a low liquidity coin. Taking, like you would expect, daily term time frame. Like you would expect, that's not even good. I would expect like just this gap to be filled right here. Continuation and downside, continuation and like a pullback. Didn't get it perfectly, so not so much to speak on that regard. We deal with bullish divergence off this low between these two lows. So if this is going to be a bull trappy situation, which I don't necessarily like 100% agree on, I would take this as our market structure line. So you broke market structure right here, 48923 is where I'd expect to pull back into, assuming you can get it back above this market structure break line right here. Yeah, so this is what I would expect, and then just a continuation to the downside. I don't know much about the Luna C, or why it's pumping. I know it's all Luna, so I don't know why. I guess if you caught this bottom, then you're pretty happy. 700%. in a few months, so not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah. So once again, just a pull back into this, assuming you get above this line right here, and then continue to the downside. If you break down, then you're going to come back. I'll look for the first bounce. Excuse me. First bounce into this fair value gap down here. Between 1883 and 17039. Yeah. Do Kwon got an arrest warrant, so a lot of people went short. Ah. That's pretty funny. Alright, any of the coins you guys want me to look at? Enjoy. Also, remember to like the video, subscribe. You know, I try to do this every weekday at 1 o'clock. We also have other streams we're doing, try to do paper training. Make sure to join our Discord, links in the description. Is actually accurate this time. There's something happening with the Streamlabs says I've only been streaming for 2 minutes. So, that's definitely been glitching out. Ada, you got it. Good entry for BTC long. Well, I think I, kind of gave my opinion now. I think this is an area that you will most likely bounce out of. And I said 4-hour closure off this fair value gap, and if you want to be more aggressive, 1-hour closure. If you don't get a 4-hour closure into this fair value gap, then I would say hold off on the longs until you come back down into this until you retest this value low. That's even assuming you hold the value low. So, you know, I can't really predict the future. I can only just provide setups. And my setup is that if it gets a closure back into this fair value gap, I think we have a good, at least a pullback to, I would say 21,000 roughly. So a nice 1,000, which would be a nice 8-9% move. So good BTC entry. ADA. We can take a look at ADA. So we've smashed through this. Got this little pullback, retested this value right low. Came back and just smashed through this. So 1-hour uptrend kind of got invalidated, obviously. So we'll just label this as the market structure break. So smashed through this, came back, retested this as resistance, couldn't get back above it, so that was a good, nice, easy short position, honestly. Nice short position. But we would expect a pullback to the bearish order block, assuming we get back above this line. We would expect a pull back into the bearish order block, along with the 705. Where is the bearish order block located? It is the last sniff can move up before the market structure break, which is conveniently also right here. So right here, along with the 705, perfectly placed at 53.7. So you expect to pull back into this region at some point, and I can just actually get rid of the fib and just leave that there. And then continue downside, and then start your new, set a lower high and start a new uptrend. 4-hour time frame, not looking terrible. I wouldn't really be too concerned, honestly. You're just retesting this low right here. If you break this low between close below at, what is that low, 45.31, you break that low, goes below it, then things become pretty nasty to the downside, and you have potentially just look for continuation down to this value area low. Breaking the point of control. I'm not too concerned about breaking the point of control unless we get a continuation candle with it. And yeah, we actually are kind of breaking this value. So I think a pullback continuation downside And then eventually just coming back to retest this value low seems the most likely answer right now. Cool. Are there any other coins you guys want me to look at? Besides the things, see things start playing out a little bit more, get a little bit more interesting at least. Alright. Well, if that is all, then I think I will leave you all there and to enjoy the rest of your weekend. Just a reminder, if you trade on Bybit or want to switch over to trade on Bybit, oh god, Crypto Life OP, yeah, you got it. This always happens. No problem. OP. Bam, bam. Yeah. Okay, no divergences forming. Take this as a range, if we so want to. Breaking out of this value low, not the best thing. Daily term time frame, yeah. We did bounce off of this. I don't know when the last time we talked about this. Probably before the end of August, but we did bounce out of that fair value gap. Retested this support and resistance level. And I think it's going to continue to trend, quite honestly. Just continue with downside. Just look for targets. Just look for this daily support and 4-hour support level right here at $1.05. That's what I look for a slight bounce off of. Then probably just a retest of that low. They aren't building any divergences, so there's no reason to be bullish, especially when we're breaking out of the value low. So that'll do good. If you want to look at the OP Bitcoin valuation just to see if there is anything. You are bouncing off the 786 Fibonacci level, so I do expect with divergences, with actually, assuming this TDI turns back up with actual bullish divergence. So I do expect OP to come into that level and then get a bounce off of it, at least a slight bounce. So that's good to see. Cool. Any other coins you guys want me to look at before I fake send you off again? All right. I will take that as a no. So just a reminder, links in the description below for our Discord, free to join, everything like that. Come join, there's a lot of good traders in there. If you trade on Bybit or want to switch over to trading on Bybit, there's a link in the description below for 30% off all your fees, maker and taker fees. Helps out support the channel as well. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. Thank you all for joining. Hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll see you all Monday. Bye, guys.